everybody, David back again. The next thing we're going to do for our entree is a fried calamari. I'm doing a little twist on this dish. I'm adding pepperoncinis, which we're going to bread and fry up with them. And then we have a sriracha mayo that we made up for them. A little bit of background on breading. As I was explaining to someone earlier, you go by the old adage that opposites attract. You don't want to do a dry mix to a dry mix or a wet mix to a wet mix because they're not going to stick to each other. So you want to go dry mix to a wet mix to a dry mix. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the wet calamari and wet pepperoncinis. I'm going to go to a dry mix of a cornstarch. Now I use cornstarch instead of flour because cornstarch is what is used in tempura batters and it gives it a crispier little texture. So that's my dry mix. Next I'm going to go to an egg wash, which is just a beaten egg with a little bit of water or milk if you care to. That's going to be my wet mix. And then the final dry mix, I'm using just a Chinese panko breadcrumb. These are great and crispy. You can use a regular seasoned breadcrumb if you'd like. The other tip on doing a three-dip method is designate a hand. Have a dry hand, have a wet hand. That way you're not ending up with these Mickey Mouse gloves. So right hand's going to be my wet hand, left hand's going to be my dry hand. So I'm going to take the wet calamari, drop it into the cornstarch, take my dry hand, coat it, shake off the excess, drop that into the egg wash. Now go back to my wet hand, dredge that in the egg wash, get it nice and coated. All right, and then I'm going to drop those, dipping off the excess egg wash. Okay, now go back to my dry hand and coat them in the panko breadcrumbs. Okay. Now as far as the pepperoncinis, you're basically going to do the same thing. Take the pepperoncinis, roll them in the cornstarch. And again, remember your wet hand, dry hand. Take the pepperoncinis, drop them into the egg wash. Coat them with the egg. And then drop them into the panko. Again, we'll lay these out. Now you're going to want to do them all at the same time and get them ready. And then once you have them all breaded, what we're going to do then is drop them into a deep fryer. Okay, we've got all the calamari and the pepperoncinis breaded and ready to go. We've got our fryer up to 375. You can use the standard vegetable oil in a deep saute pan. We've got a nice little electric fryolator here. You can do a fry daddy, anything like that. Anything that the squid and the pepperoncinis are going to get immersed in and covered. You don't want to be turning them. They're not going to cook evenly that way. So what we're going to do is take our basket, get it over the fryer. We're going to start dropping these in a few at a time. Again, you want to make sure they don't stick together, don't clump too much. Okay, now again, the calamari are quite quick. These just take a few seconds to cook. All right, while those are cooking, let me tell you about this other thing. I just made a simple sriracha mayo. This is just a regular store-bought mayonnaise with a Chinese sriracha sauce and a little bit of lemon juice. Mix it about 2 to 1 mayo to sriracha sauce and just a little squeeze of lemon juice and you're good to go. You can also use a cocktail sauce if you prefer. So get that all set. Okay, shake these off. I usually like to dump them into another container so you're not dumping them right to the plate. Okay, and we'll plate these up. A little fresh flat leaf parsley to garnish, and you're all set.